This is KBIA News. I'm Caitlin McElwain. In August, the U.S. Department of Education issued a memo demanding that federally funded universities upload additional student enrollment data from the last 6 years, broken down by race, gender, standardized test scores, high school GPA, and family income. But as KBIA's Kat Ramkumar reports, a rushed deadline and lack of staffing has led to problems.
In Dawn Medley's 30 years of working with higher education data, she says she's never seen a request as big as this one.
I would have liked for there to be higher education folks at the table as some of these decisions and thought processes were being developed.
Medley is Missouri State University's new vice president for enrollment management. Missouri State has licensed technology from a vendor, Advisorly, that allows MSU staff to use AI to scrape old transcripts and merge it with information from admissions applications. Facing this new administrative burden, many schools have hired additional staff and temporary workers to meet the March deadline.
This one iPad's component is like 2.5 times the burden of all of the other iPad's components put together. That's 5 weeks of a full-time person, 8 hours a day.
That's Institute of Higher Education researcher Aaron Dunlop-Velez, who says the Trump administration's memo is aimed at making sure universities aren't using affirmative action practices, which were outlawed by the Supreme Court a few years ago. But she says incorrect conclusions about a university's admissions process can be drawn from this data, and schools could be subject to investigations after the data is submitted.
I also worry about the kind of cooling effect that if you're an institution and you really, really don't want the department looking at you, there's admissions practices that can keep your student body diverse, but you might be nervous about even doing those, even though those are allowed post-SFFA.
And even if universities meet the mid-March deadline, there will likely be large chunks of missing data from their submissions. For example, the survey wants schools to break down student data by gender. However, the survey only lists options for male and female. Medley says this overlooks students who apply to college as non-binary or without disclosing gender.
Those students will have to indicate male or female because also there will be scrutiny if you have too many data points that are not reported.
A lot of data gaps stem from unanswered questions. Association for Institutional Research CEO Christine Keller says there has been no time for conversations with admissions professionals since the memo was released. And the Trump administration has also laid off staff from the Department of Education who could have helped meet this deadline.
Typically, it's some give and take with the community and a lot of trust and listening to make sure that the resulting data is good and useful. That has not occurred with this data collection, unfortunately.
Medley compares this process to submitting homework with a tight deadline. Whether it's good or not, it just has to be turned in. But instead of getting a bad grade, schools might get a hefty bill.
Just in general, they look to fine you double what your last year's allocation of Title IV federal financial aid dollars were. And so for us, that'd be about $200 million that they would fine us, and they will not allow you to disperse federal financial aid going forward. So it would kill institutions.
With such massive yet intricate data sets available, experts worry that it will be easier to personally identify students. This information is currently protected under federal law that protects student information, but Medley says she has concerns once it goes to the Education Department. I'm Kat Ramkumar, KBIA News.